Remember how when they would show movies, they would have these 1-minute reels that showed the updates on the war? Well, they had Snap, Crackle, Pop reels at the movies, and it was these characters that were gnomes, and in these reels, they were always fighting their arch enemies, Soggy, Mushy, and Tuffy. But when you pour, the amazing thing is that when you would add, well, let me tell you, they were rice grains that were cooked, then they were dried, and then they were toasted. How many of you ever felt you've been through those three processes? Cooked, dried, and toasted, resulting in this crisped rice. And then the moment that you add milk, or they would even say cream, the moment that you would do that, the thin walls of the rice would collapse. And that's what makes the noise that goes. Thus, being called one of the greatest marketing campaigns of all time. And so, I remember as a child having that cereal on occasion and thinking that by pouring the milk that something was coming to life in the bowl. So it was very exciting. It was very exciting to be that which was bringing life and creating life. And now, even today, when I look at the art of pouring and the significance that that has on our life, that something that we decide to pour into. What are we pouring into? We are pouring into the vessel, the purity of that which is connected to the infinite. We speak over and over again, constantly, about the fact that our only reason of existence here in this earthly realm is to be that vessel. The vessel by which the infinite has a playground, has a mind, has something in order to extend itself by means of you. I said earlier, that means that it's not everybody doing it the same way. Don't confuse oneness with sameness. But it means that in your own individual way and in your persona, your only reason to be here in this lifetime is to prove the infinite ability of you as a vessel, to allow that which is to pour into you to embody that truth and to be that truth. And so it is this idea of pouring something into us and bringing something to life. But the paradoxical thing about even saying it that way is that it was never dead. You've had this life within you. You've had this life within you. I've had this life within you. This life is ongoing and reoccurring. And it begs, as the song so beautifully says, to get our attention in order to produce the awe moments that can become our new normal. And so as we reflect on that, we realize the irony is that what we are pouring into and what we are seeking is something that already is in full existence and begs our attention. The thing that I've come to realize is that we're constantly pouring things anyway. But again, in this polarity of life, what are we pouring into this bowl of our existence? One, I think, is what we call truth. And I've often said before, don't mistake facts for truth. The facts that you have been given about your diagnosis or your blood count or your bank account or the situation that's happening in your family, those things are temporary. Facts change. But truth is everlasting. And so here you are, this vehicle of truth, and the only thing that it asks of you is that as it pours itself by means of you, that what you pour into it is truth and not facts. What you pour into it, what you stay focused on, is truth and not trends. That what you stay focused on is the essential inherent nature of your being rather than what someone else says about you or what your story is. Michael Beckwith, who is a minister in this movement that many of you know, he said that when you indicate that you have an experience, you are referring to something that is impermanent and subject to change, whether it is good or whether it is bad. Let me say that again. When you indicate, when you tell your story of your experience, you are referring to something that is impermanent. It's subject to change. It goes with the wind. As you progress and as you let go, so does that particular experience, whether the experience is good or bad. There's an impartial nature to it. He says when you have an inner realization, it is not transient. It permanently remains within your consciousness. That is why you can experience lack or doubt or worry or abandonment or dis-ease, but you cannot have, hear me, you cannot have a realization of them because they are not permanent. Are they then who enjoy the experiences, whether good or bad, but seek realization. Seek realization, meaning seek to pour within you constantly that which is truth. So experience sort of is on the same wavelength as fact, and realization is on the same wavelength as truth. So we are either pouring into us experiences and saying, here is my story. And even though it goes into that bowl of our experience and makes a noise that seems to come to life, it's not the authentic life. Do you get that? It's the story of drama. It's the story of illusion. And for many, it becomes so seductive and so addictive that all that we know to do is to continue to pour that kind of thing into that bowl. But at some point, there is a shelf life for that existence. At some point, you and I must come to terms with the authenticity of what it is that we are being called to pour into, because it is our inherent nature, and our inherent nature will not cease to seek us out and to remind us of the power of who we are. It's the inherent nature. Don't you see? It's like if you don't get it this go around, you will have another opportunity to get it. If you don't get it the next go-around, you will continue to have other opportunities to get it. It's the same thing that we experience in this particular realm of this human existence. It is the spiral. Haven't you ever noticed wherever you go, there you are? If you get so ticked off by somebody or some town or some job and you move and you, quote, quote, start fresh. There it is all over again. Wow. It's because what we are doing is we are continuing to pour into us something that is against our inherent nature. So what then is our responsibility? What then is our responsibility? It is to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is only one ideal, only one truth. It is the gorgeous, beautiful, inherent nature of you, the soul, who has so brilliantly and so bravely chosen to come and walk this life path, to go through this curriculum, to feel the pain, to have the experiences, but to overcome them and to realize that they do not define